In this lesson, we're going to add a pitched roof to the link between the east and west buildings. The first thing to do when creating a pitched roof is to make a new roof type. Believe me, it's hard to pour concrete at a slope 40 feet in the air. My point is, materials and the actual roof system play just as important of a role in sloped roofs as they do in flat roofs. The problem in our case is the walls below the roof have concrete parapet caps, and the wall joins will need to be fixed before we can add the roof. This is actually very common. The objective of this exercise is to place a roof with a 9/12 pitch over the corridor link. Open the file you've been working with, or open the file called Chapter 8 and follow along. In my example, you'll see the roof that we're going to make. Unfortunately, what's going to happen is we're going to have to make it in pretty much two pieces, and I'll show you how in a minute. But you can see that we have a little bit of an overhang, and our roof is sitting there pretty nice. The first thing we need to do is deal with these walls, because they're not going to work out for us. By holding down your Control key, select all 6 walls that form the link. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. In the properties, let's click Edit Type. Let's click Duplicate. Let's call it Exterior Brick. Let's call it Corridor Walls. Click OK. For the structure, let's click on Edit. Make sure your preview pane is turned on so that we can see this section of our wall. The objective here is to delete this parapet cap and to delete this soldier course. To do that, we have to go to Modify Vertical Structure, Section Preview Only, meaning you can't modify it if the section preview is turned off. To access these items, what we need to do is click on the Sweeps button. Notice when I select Parapet, it becomes highlighted. Notice when I select Wall Sweep, it's a brick soldier course, it becomes highlighted. Click on the parapet and click Delete. For Wall Sweep, also click Delete. Click OK, and those items are going to disappear. Click OK again. Click OK one more time. And that brings us back to the model. Now these walls are void of their parapets. One thing we need to deal with, though, is zooming in here, we've got some wall joint issues. The problem is our roof is coming in at a funny angle, with the pitch going at a funny angle to the peak. It's going to be hard to join these walls to it afterwards. So to be proactive, what we're going to do is we're going to go to Level 1 Floor Plan, and we're going to modify those floor joins to be a miter. To do that, go to the Modified tab, and on the Geometry panel, click the Wall Joins button. Hover over this join right here, or this intersection, and pick it. Click the Miter button, and that allows us to independently attach walls to another item. Let's go through and do them all. Notice we're still in the command, so come down to this intersection, zoom in, click Miter, make sure the miter goes across like that, and we're good. Come down to here, click Miter, come up to here, click Miter. Click off of it or hit Escape. Not bad. Let's go up to Level 3 now. This is where our roof's going to actually be. Notice that there's really no detail in our walls, and there's a ton of details in these walls. Well, that's because we're cutting a section through these walls, and we're just above these walls. Our roof is going to be right up here. So, to make the roof, let's go to the Architecture tab. Let's click on the Roof button. The first thing I want to do is click on Edit Type, and then I want to click Duplicate. We're going to call it Roof, Pitched Roof. We're going to click OK. For the structure, I'd like to click the Edit button. There's a few things we have to do here. We just kind of cribbed off another roof. This certainly won't work in a pitched situation. The first thing I want to do is remove the thermal air layer. So click on number 2 and just click Delete. Let's click in the Structure 1. We don't necessarily want concrete, lightweight concrete either. So click the little Builder button. Let's find good old-fashioned plywood. If you type in plywood, or just simply ply, you should be able to find plywood sheathing. Once you find plywood sheathing, click OK. And the thickness of that wants to be 3/4 of an inch. For the finish, let's select a different material. Let's click on the Builder button. Let's find copper. Oh, it's going to be a nice roof. Click OK. The copper can remain at 1/4 inch, and nothing's going to be variable here. For plywood sheathing, let's change the cut pattern. So click in the plywood sheathing, click the Builder button. Let's scroll down till we get the cut pattern. And for the pattern, let's make sure we come down and select plywood. And click OK. Click OK here. Now we have a pretty cool plywood. This is at a pretty large scale. It'll look right once we model it. Click OK. Click OK. Now, what we want to do is start to add our roof. First thing we're going to do is pick on Define Slope. Let's give it an overhang of 1 foot. With the Pick Walls button picked, pick this wall, and then this wall. Pick this wall, and then this wall. Hit Escape a couple times. Now let's use our Pick Lines button, and let's turn off Define Slope. Make sure there's no offset. Pick this wall, and then pick this wall, and hit Escape a couple times. Click the Trim button, and let's just go around and trim up the corners. Once you're done trimming the corners, you're done. Click the Finish Edit Mode button. Looks like we've got some work to do. Go to a 3D view. Let's take a look. Looks as though our roof is kind of slightly low. In the 3D view, let's go down to the View Control toolbar. Make sure your visual style is set for realistic. Got a real dark roof up here. We have a copper looking roof up here. But the problem is we've got some funny lines going on, and if you hover over your roof, you'll see that Revit did not do a great job in forming that roof. The problem is, a lot of times you're going to get into the situation where Revit just isn't going to project a complex situation. The problem is we have to make 2 roofs. We have to make a roof here, we have to make a roof here. So while we have the roof selected, let's go ahead and click on Edit Footprint. Let's go to level 3. Let's pick a window like this, to the left, to the right, and select those lines and just hit your Delete key. On the Draw palette, go ahead and click your Line button and draw a line from here to here and click Finish. Go to 3D view and check it out. That looks better. The walls have a problem, but we'll fix that in a moment. Let's go back down to level 3. Let's select the roof we have here. Right click, create similar. This time, let's just click on our Pick Lines button. Let's pick this wall and this wall. Now, let's use our Pick Walls button. Let's define slope. Make sure overhang is set to 1. Pick this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy. Hit Escape a couple times. Click your Trim icon. And let's just trim up the corners so we have a nice roof. Once the corners are trimmed up, click Finish Edit Mode. Let's go to a 3D view, and it looks a lot better. The only problem is our walls are sticking up through our roof. That's okay. What we're going to do, we need to attach these walls to the roof, but we have 2 roofs, so we have to do it in 2 steps. The first thing I want you to do is hold down the Control key, select this wall, and then this wall. Now I want you to click the Attach Top Base button on the Modify Wall panel of the Modify Walls tab. Click this button, click this roof, and the walls go down to it. Let's do the same for this guy. Let's hold down our Shift key. Actually, let's hit Escape first. Hold down your Control key. Pick this wall, this wall, this wall, and this wall. Click Attach Top Base, select your roof, and they're going to be trimmed down to it. Hit Escape a couple times, and you're all set. Not the easiest roof, I know, but we got it there, right? Not all pitched roofs are this difficult, whereas some are actually much more difficult. Just remember one thing. If Revit struggles to make your roof, so will your contractor.